Hello, and welcome to The Fool and the Philosopher.
The Philosopher and the Fool.
Oh, I got a
Rebuttal for yourself.
Yeah, so, well, not a rebuttal, it's to try to explain my idea better last time. Because we were talking about, you recall how I was saying that maybe you should break the rules but pretend you're following them.
Sorry, but black that whole event out. That's why I didn't edit in the echoing into your Super Smash Brothers or whatever. I had to black that whole 30 minutes out to keep my sanity.
Right, so the first thing is, instead of having a Kantian rule, we discussed this earlier, instead of having a Kantian rule about don't lie, you could have a rule that said, always act as if people are telling the truth. Which means, if you follow that rule to perfection, that means you could lie and still have the system work.
Okay.
So that's just a potential Kantian rule that works, but I'm not saying it is one that you should do or not.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, he did his through, logical contradiction and stuff, but I don't know if you can with everything.
Maybe not.
Anyways, so what I have here is, if we all say we're going to play by the rules, we don't have to follow the rules. Which was my first sort of idea.
That sounds like insanity.
Well, because you
Continue.
have the assumption everyone's going to follow the rules, so once that's in place, you don't have to follow them, maybe. I don't know. That was just my first thought, but that's kind of a summary of what I was saying. But my argument is more, rules are not a tyrant, they are subject to ourselves. So we don't obey the rules obey us, right?
Mm-hmm. We don't obey no rules obey us. I don't have to follow law, I can steal, because the law follows me.
Yeah, it's exactly like that. Like, the law is built to serve society. Society isn't made to serve the law. Otherwise, you have, communism.
I'm going to
fascism.
go steal your money.
That's when the law dictates morals, then that's fascism.
Fascism?
Fascism. That's fascism and communism. But when the law dictates morals, that's fascism. Why can't I say that word right now? My tongue isn't working right now. But, what?
Nothing.
Okay. I think if the laws are dictating morals, then the laws have failed their purpose. The laws are made to let us have as much freedom as possible within a society that doesn't collapse.
Yes.
And
that's why the Purge is stupid.
Like the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, let's try to think about it a bit. Okay, so basically you have one day of the year where all crime is legal.
Yeah.
Which is a quick way to put it, but a better way to put it would be there is no laws.
How about instead of one day of a year, everything's illegal?
No, it's one day a year.
No, alternate universe, alternate universes movie is one day a year, everything's legal. That makes for a boring movie.
Not necessarily. So you could have a movie about the Chinese Civil War with that law. Because there was a general, I think I've told you the story possibly, but there was a general with his army who was late marching to the emperor's palace for his birthday or something, big ceremony. And because there was a huge rainstorm, his army was bogged down in mud for days. They were a week behind schedule. And so the general said to, so the emperor sent out a advisor to say, are you guys going to make it in time? And the advisor said, you guys got to hurry, it's the emperor's birthday, you got to push yourselves and abandon your wagons and all this. And the general said, what is the penalty for being late to the emperor's ceremony? And the herald said, death. And so then the general was like, what's the penalty for trying to kill the emperor? And the herald said, death. And the general said, very well then. So I think if everything was illegal, you'd have every law broken.
Maybe.
So, and that's how the bloody civil war. That's how the bloodiest war ever started.
Yeah.
As by percentage, not by numbers.
Yeah, but back to the Purge.
Yeah. So that's one day a year. There are no laws, and the idea is that society is really bottled up and repressed, and they need to have a day of the year that they can just, express themselves.
Yeah. So it's like Japan's Light City.
Yeah. It's like the Victorian eras with their, I don't know,
Saloons.
Their saloons or their opium dens or something. Yeah, or maybe they're like terrible romance novels.
Yeah.
They were big into those. So and Japan's kind of like that with their manga and stuff these days. They're a very
Yeah.
repressed society with like these crazy manga and video games and ridiculous animes and all that.
Hmm.
And well, first of all, I think that if someone wants to do a crime, it's not the law that's stopping them.
No.
Maybe it is though. I don't know. But it seems to me that because the law doesn't dictate morals,
Yeah.
ideally, the law shouldn't be the thing restraining you from doing these things. Instead, the law should be catching the outliers.
The people who do break it.
Yeah.
Because their morals can't keep them in check.
Yeah. Or it's a bit weird, isn't it? Like if someone does a crime of passion, like let's say kills, I don't know, the person that murdered their wife or something.
Mm-hmm.
They do this crime of passion. Is putting them in jail going to do anything?
I think at that point it's a punishment.
Yeah, or it's just more like a way to say, to remind everyone else, we live in a society.
Yeah.
But because that person, well, maybe the fact that the person snapped it all shows that, but I think a lot of people would snap it, right?
Yeah.
Although,
Maybe
not to like hunt someone down and kill them. Maybe in the moment it would make a lot more sense. But in the moment, I think you could get off. Like people, like that would be self-defense.
Yeah, in the moment. However, if it's like revenge, hunt down, see, because as a society, we don't want, like, people should be able to restrain themselves. We don't want a society of people who snap.
Well, we don't want vigilantes, I guess. I guess it's about vigilantism because if you have vigilantes, they might get the wrong person or they might hurt other people along the way. Whereas the police, ideally, are they're a lot more trained. They're a lot. They have a book that they follow that because nobody knows how to do good, but when you have like a couple million people throughout hundreds of years writing a guideline on how to be a police officer, they're going to do a lot better than a vigilante.
Yeah. They're going to grab them, throw them into a room, play good cop, bad cop.
Actually, yeah, I've started to really not like vigilantes. I saw a movie about some vigilante. I can't remember her name. She's called like The Woman Who Hurts Men Who Hurt Women, or it was something like that, some sort of like back and forth quick name. And
really, the woman who
yeah, that's that.
Isn't that like the spider's web or something, or the girl with the spider's gift?
Maybe, or the dragon tattoo thing or something.
I have no. The dragon tattoo is not about vigilante. I think it's like a weird romance novel that also involves a kidnapping.
Maybe, but anyways, this one I saw like the trailer for it, and I thought like because why she went after these men was because they had been acquitted in the court of law. And so the law couldn't touch them, but she felt justice hadn't been done, so she went after them.
Yeah.
And when I was watching the trailer, at one point in my life, I would have been like, yeah, get those people that broke the law. But I was like, hey, you can't... Look, the law declared them good people. Like, how do you know they're not good people?
Yeah.
Or at least the law said there's nothing we can do. So I think... like,
who gives you the right to judge?
There's Terry Pratchett has a part where Vimes is saying something like, we don't kill like the criminals we try to catch. And he's like, he wanted to kill him. He wanted to kill all the criminals with a sword. Just think about how clean the city could become. And it's like once you disobey the law once, then you can if you make that decision for yourself every time, then you can just kill everyone that does something slightly wrong, right? Like it just becomes worse and worse.
That's how you get Judge Dredd.
Yeah, or well, I don't know enough about him, but I assume.
Well, he is the law.
Yeah.
And he sentences you guilty. He's in a dystopian universe where it's filled with super cops, much like him, or super judges. However, he's the nastiest one. And any crime that's illegal, he gets to decide what the penalty is.
Right. So he's not actually a vigilante, though.
No.
He's actually a lawman.
Yeah, but so, like, he's having a bad day, maybe he spills his coffee on his pants, and he sees you loitering, he gives you 90 years for loitering. Or, like, he sees you breaking into a car, he decides the sentence is death, and so he shoots you then and there.
Right.
So it's his immediate decision because people see the judges as they've had training so that they know what the right punishment is.
Right.
but it's a bit of a messed up society.
Yeah, sounds like it. So,
So it'd be like a judge in our day, like going around and like he sees like someone try and break into a car, knows the punishment is like, that's like 2 years and a fine of $1,000. And then he shoots them with a taser and then drags them to prison.
yeah.
And like they have no court appeal or anything, they just go to prison because he's judged them.
So yeah, back to vigilantes. So yeah, I saw that and I was thinking, basically, if you don't follow the laws of society, then society can't function. Kind of like how Kant said you can't lie, otherwise you never know if someone's telling the truth.
Yeah.
Because if you give the possibility to lie, then people might be lying all the time.
Yeah.
So if you have a vigilante, that said, I said you could do it the other way around and act as if everyone's telling the truth. So on the vigilante part, you could say, act as if everyone is righteous when they punish criminals, which actually sounds terrible.
Well, when Batman was a vigilante, it's very important he has the whole rule of not killing.
Yeah, because then there's always at least...
Well, he's...
You can always at least apologize for your mistake, sort of.
Well, there's also a bit of an analyst on one thing, and someone says Batman has performed the most citizens' arrests of anyone. Because what he has those handcuffs that the police can access. Which, like, even when he's not part of the police force. Like, he, like, chains people up or he, like, takes them out, and then he leaves them there for the police to arrest them. So he's just, like, the most extreme form of citizens' arrest possible.
Well, I think Batman's actually a police officer.
Well, he becomes one. I'm saying before he was one. Like, when he started, and they're trying to catch him because Harvey really wanted to catch him. His whole thing, like, the Bat Freak.
Harvey, or, isn't Harvey, Two-Face?
But
But, like, the fat police officer, dude.
I thought his name was Harvey. Isn't it Harvey Dent?
That's Two-Face.
I thought his name was also Harvey something.
Maybe? I think it's something else, though. It's Bullock.
Oh, Bullock, yeah, Detective Bullock, right.
Yeah.
Yes, Bullock, sorry, it's the Gotham series, so that I remember from, he's a character in Gotham.
Right.
And he's like, I don't know, he's a corrupt cop, but he's not morally corrupt. He's just corrupt because of the system of Gotham, and then Gordon sort of straightens him out. Yeah, Detective Bullock. His name's Harvey Bullock, though.
So, yeah, but I think Batman isn't a vigilante for most of it. And, but the only vigilante I think I really like, and even then I'd have to think about it maybe a bit more, but maybe you have an opinion, Superman. Because Superman's a vigilante.
Yeah, but he's fighting the things that no one else can deal with.
Not always. The major part of his job is, like, patrolling around Metropolis and just being seen, because there's nothing a criminal can do if...
Yeah, well, they can throw a gun at him and he has to duck because all guns are made with kryptonite. Yeah, no, he's the big shield of Metropolis. The big S, which stands for hope on his chest.
Yeah, he's...
And also, like, even with petty crimes, like, he doesn't have to run forward and do the biff, baff, bop. He can grab them by the collar of their shirt, disarm them, and then carry them to a police station.
He's kind of like it's a bit weird, because he's basically morally perfect in some ways. Because he's meant to be like a paragon, like a thing for the city to look up to.
Yeah.
And,
but you're no god. I'll make you bleed. Meh.
He's, well, that I think Batman actually had a good point in that. So you're referencing,
Batman v Superman?
Batman versus Superman, where Batman thought Superman had to be killed because Superman represented... If Superman wasn't morally perfect, he is a vigilante. And so he does whatever he wants, which is the opposite of Batman, where Batman has a very strict moral code, basically. Like, Superman could have one as well. But the problem is, if Batman doesn't have one, he's a nuisance.
Yeah.
If Superman doesn't have one, he could wipe out life on Earth, potentially.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like looking for an asteroid or something, like astronomers spending their time looking for asteroids or figuring out how to divert asteroids. Like, it's a tiny chance that an asteroid will crash into Earth again,
but
anytime soon.
A really great idea to figure out how to stop them.
But if it did happen, if there is any chance at all of it happening, then if you don't know what to do, you will die if it happens.
Yeah.
So Batman has the line in the movie, at least, we must treat, even if there's only a 1% chance that Superman will betray us all, we must treat it as an absolute certainty. Which is sort of back to one of our earlier episodes, like the game theory of hating the Campbells. Like,
Yeah.
you have to go all in.
You have to pull the goalie. Batman was pulling the goalie when he tried to kill Superman.
I think he was covering his, he was eliminating the possibility of anything ever going wrong.
Yeah.
Because if Superman ever snapped, it would be terrible. So if Batman took out Superman when Superman wasn't ready, then Superman could never destroy all of life on Earth. It's like a looming weight over your head that's just too dangerous to allow. I'm trying to think of a good, kind of like the housing market collapse in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it should have never happened because there's a chance it could collapse and cause the Great Depression, which it did.
Yeah.
And then it happened again and caused the,
Recession.
yeah, whatever that was called.
Great Recession.
Yeah.
And government had to bail the banks out.
Vigilantes, yeah, but I guess we were talking about the Purge a bit as well.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't remember how I know why we were talking about the Purge, but I don't know how we got into vigilantes. But yeah, so the Purge. Well, yeah, I think just people would do crimes anyways. Like, I don't think the law is stopping anyone but the outliers.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if there was a law if there was no laws, let's say today, it doesn't mean I'm going to go on a killing spree.
No.
I would go about as normal. Like speed laws, for example, on roads. I find them handy because it means that I know what other people are going to do.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like a rough agreement on different places of,
And
this is how fast we're going to go in this section, so we're all kind of safe.
it's the Purge. I'm going to go drive on the road and drive illegally. And then you crash.
Yeah, or you crash into someone else or make them crash.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're driving illegally. You're wrong side of the road.
Yeah, like it's nice to have an agreed upon standard. It's like USB cables, right? Like, USBs are really convenient. You can plug in anywhere.
Yeah.
And like, they work with everything. You can stick your mouse into any laptop, any computer.
Yeah.
If you had like 50 different kinds, it'd be anarchy and chaos. And that's like the Purge, no laws. Because with no laws, if you don't have... They don't need to be laws. They could be guidelines. They could be standardizations, I guess. Like, I could imagine a world where there is no laws, and what people do is they have... Like, someone goes to the road that they've built as a community or whatever, and they put up a sign, and they say, like, 50 kilometers an hour. And then someone else who likes going a bit faster, they put a sign by it that says 60. And then someone else likes being a bit more cautious, they say 40. And then another person puts up a 30, and most people put up like a 50 sign or something. And so people driving along, they can see the collection of signs and make their own choice, but they see a rough range of what's like they can see what the median speed is and sort of follow that. So you could have just guidelines that were mutually agreed upon. But laws are essentially that, but reinforced, so it's a bit safer for everyone. But you do give up freedom for safety.
Yes.
That is the trade-off, always. So I guess the question is, do you want the freedom to drive any speed you want, to give up the safety? The problem is, you can't answer that for yourself. Everyone has to agree to it, because you would also make everyone else less safe.
Yeah.
But as a society, what do you think? Should we have less speed laws, or like, personally, I think I'm a fan of them.
I like them because they allow people to have expectations of what's going to happen on the road.
I think, like,
you know what's coming, basically. You know, I can drive at this speed and I'll be safe driving at this speed, instead of like driving on the Autobahn and having to drive 300 kilometers an hour just to survive.
Yeah.
And then there's some maniac with a sports car that can go 400 kilometers an hour, and so he's going that speed.
That's a plane at that point.
I know, man. It's just like, I'm over.
Yeah. It's hyperbole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the Autobahn is like a road without laws. It might be better now.
Well, it's not a road without laws. It just doesn't have a speed limit.
Yeah, exactly. And everyone seems to accept that
It has a left and a right and everything. Like, it's...
Yeah, but everyone seems to accept you can drive like a maniac on it.
I don't think that's really what it is. It just doesn't have a speed limit. It doesn't mean you can like swerve left and right and like drive in the wrong lane. Like, it's not a maniac. You can just drive any speed you want.
Yeah, which can be very fast.
Yeah.
Which is maniacy.
I guess like in the truest sense of the word, it's mania because it's like exciting and fun. But yeah, I wouldn't I think that we, like, how about this, right?
The movie Purge.
Okay,
Road
this is
rage.
good. This is actually really good, okay? So the speed sign, let's say it says 90 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
So that's like, it's a law so that we stay safe because we've all agreed to that speed.
Yeah.
But we're not actually having it to be like super harsh, right? We're just saying like, this is our agreed upon speed. So if someone's going 95 or 85,
Mhm.
police officers shouldn't just like, arrest them or
Yeah.
like, because it's just like, hey, we want to go 90, but we're not robots. So if we're going like 85 or 95, like whatever, right?
Yeah.
Or even if we're going like 100, we're not going like 140. Or if
Yeah.
you're going 60 in a 50 zone, you're not going like 90.
Yeah.
Which means that you have laws that everyone's agreed to, but nobody obeys, and
Yeah.
yet they still work
Yeah, because
they're guidelines,
they're guidelines, and
which we call laws.
and if you go over them too much, then you do get the punishment for breaking them.
So moral laws could be done the same way. They could be guidelines that everyone's agreed to, but we're not robots, so we kind of go a bit under, a bit over. There's sort of like this fuzzy barrier, and we don't know where the exact line is. Like imagine like you have like a ruler maybe, and there's the 1 centimeter line, right?
Yeah.
And the 1 centimeter line's like a millimeter wide. But you don't know where that 1 centimeter starts. Does it start at the end of the line, in the middle somewhere, at the other end? And you can keep zooming in, and like it's kind of like this wavy boundary within that black space. And you don't know where 1 centimeter is, but it's somewhere along that black line.
Right. I'm going to say this again because you've done it twice now. I can sort of understand where you're coming from, but do not extrapolate information from one thing into morals because they are different.
That's not what I'm doing, though. And I'll say this twice as well. That's not what I'm doing. I'm using analogies to try to explain my idea about morals.
You are listening to The Fool and the Philosopher. I think in my philosophy class we talked about, which was saying, there's like the two sort of schools in philosophy. One is that there's a belief that there is morals, and the other that there is emotion. I can't remember what they're called, but it's basically like
Emotion?
yeah,
Like happy, sad sort of thing?
like your feelings, like
Yeah, okay.
I feel this is right, so I'll do it because it's right. And then enough people have that feeling that's right, so they do it because it's right. And then there's the people like Kant who who try to find what morals are, and there's people like what's his name, Aristotle and Socrates who sort of try to find what morals are, and the people who do consequentialism, or what's it called, where you want the most good possible.
Utilitarian?
Yeah, utilitarianism. And they're all trying to find morals. And so they're sort of like, yeah, there's morals, but it's more for emotions and our feelings determining what they are, and no one can actually say what they are. And I used something you said. I think there actually might be something that morals are, but it's like the Gödel-Escher-Bach. Once you answer it, it might disappear.
Yeah, or it's not true.
Yeah,
But I think...
but I think there's an answer to actually what morals are.
Okay, well, I don't think there is. And it's not because... Okay, I don't think morals are a thing, right?
Are you some sort of atheist?
I think morals...
You're a moral atheist?
Well, atheism is worship, so it'd be like a moral agnostic, maybe? Or no, you don't know. I don't know.
You're amoralic? You have no morals!
So I don't think morals are I didn't say I don't think morals exist. I said I don't think morals are a thing. I think morals are an action. I don't think good is a thing. I think good is an action. And I think the action is trying to do good. I think that it's journey, not destination. I think that saying is one of the greatest things humans have come up with, because it's true for so many things. That everything isn't...
Yeah, it's the journey it's the journey of getting through curing your cancer, not curing your cancer. It's the journey through surviving the heart surgery, not having your heart repaired.
Well, now you're doing the putting something that works in one area onto another, but you're also not fairly representing the idea. I think.
I'm also making a
Yeah,
joke.
I know, but it's still not a fair representation, because with the cancer example, it's not about trying to live if you're not living.
Yeah.
So the goal isn't to cure your cancer. The goal is to continue having experience in your life.
Yeah. It's a cure cancer to do that.
No. See, you're wasting your life if you're trying to cure your cancer.
I think you can make it so your life can be a lot longer, though.
No, you won't have a life if you spend all your time trying to cure your cancer. You have to keep living.
Yeah, but I mean, you can like go to chemotherapy and stuff.
No, you can during your living you can be in the process of trying to cure your cancer, but your life isn't trying to cure your cancer. You live your life, and during that life is looking for the cure for cancer.
Right.
So it's not about the end; it's about the journey. Because otherwise, you're not living. You're just trying to survive for a life that doesn't exist.
Right.
It's like if you I don't know, if you said you had like a terminal illness and you spent every day in your room in a ball saying, I have a terminal illness for the next 5 years.
That's not going out to try and cure. No, that.
Then you might as well have died then.
Okay.
So you can't make the cancer your focus, right?
You could make your life's focus to curing cancer in general, and your own by proxy.
Yeah, but then you're not living. You're like exactly like if your goal is to try to cure cancer, then you're living. But if your goal is to cure cancer, you're not living because you just have a goal and you don't live until you get to the goal. And once you get to the goal, it's over instantly. The goal lasts for 0 time. It's just you achieve it, you live for a split second, and then your life is over.
Yep.
So instead, your life should be working towards the betterment of humanity or something. And your way of doing that is curing cancer and then maybe curing this thing, curing that, or just working towards these things.
Mm-hmm.
So, look, if everything had an answer, like morals, if they were a thing and they had an answer that was clear and obvious, then evolutionarily, we could simply use instinct to know them. What felt good would be good. What felt bad would be bad, which is what Kant said in his book. He said, we are given reason for some other reason. Because otherwise we just use instinct, because instinct would be more effective. So that means that we don't have every answer. And we can't have every answer because then we would have every answer. If you can have an answer, you would have an answer because it would just make more sense evolutionarily, which means that it's the process of achieving the answer that matters, not the answer. So therefore, we must allow the possibility to break the laws, or they cannot be moral laws, because moral laws must arise from rationality, not instinct, and instinct would already give us the laws, whereas rationality, the laws are an ongoing process of discovery that we can never finish.
Okay, I can see that perspective.
So, yeah, I don't know if that's actually what I think or not, but it's just an idea I had about a different way to look at it.
Okay. Yep, I can see that. There cannot be light without darkness. There cannot be good without evil.
I don't know if
there cannot be law without unlaw. There cannot be morality without immorality.
Well, I think it's more like there isn't absolutes. It's all sort of fuzzy. It's
shadow.
There, I think it was Alan Watts said something. He said, what was it? It was like, life is the universe playing hide and seek with itself or something. I think we said that in one of our earlier episodes, actually.
Yeah.
But I think it's all based on nothing, sort of. Like it's like nothing swirling in a circle until something happens, because it did it infinite times.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 0 times infinity equals 1. It's like when the big bad ride when
you know, I was talking about someone. I was saying like, oh, podcast is the Fool and the Philosopher.
Yeah.
Not the Philosopher and Fool podcast. Because ours is the less weird one. We don't talk about weird things and aliens and conspiracy theories and stuff. But I'm not so certain anymore.
It's not crazy. It's
yeah. You keep telling yourself that. Maybe one day it'll be true.
No, there's not absolutes, right? It's all just. I'm trying to think of. You can't draw a line, right? You can only draw a wavy outline for the line. Yeah. Okay. Try drawing a line. Okay. You see that? But that isn't a line, because the line is inside that line.
That's a line.
No, because the line...
That's a line.
No, but the line is
inside
No,
that's a line.
Okay, what I'm saying, though, is you can't draw an infinitely small line, right? You can't draw a perfect dividing line. Like, you can't cut something perfectly in half with a line, because the thing is inside that line, and that thing is inside that line, and that thing's inside that line. But see that edge? That edge is the infinite. That's the infinity.
I just made that edge, so yeah. I made it.
So you tore a piece of paper in half.
Yeah.
And that is the infinite edge, because it's infinitively small. But a piece of paper, that's really deep, actually. Like, you made a line. I was wrong. By tearing that piece of paper in half, you made a line.
Yeah, because I wanted to prove you wrong. It wasn't trying to be deep.
But you, it's not, and that's how that's life. That you tear something apart, right? You tear it in half, and that's life, because it's impossible to draw a line, but you drew a line, and that's how life arises. It's just
how you get immediate. It's how the Buddha opens up in the water lily of dreams. It's how all divinity comes forth and
like,
showers
ants,
the
right?
world in the golden cacophony of light.
Okay, I can explain, right? You know ants, right?
Yeah.
Okay, if all of ants are a colony, right?
Mm-hmm.
That colony, if you kill an ant, the colony doesn't die, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you kill like half the ants, then the ants double in number because a bunch more ants are born.
Mm-hmm.
The colony didn't die, right?
Yeah.
And the colony is like a living organism itself. But if you kill all the ants, the colony dies, right?
Yeah.
So brain cells, each brain cell is like an ant. If you kill a brain cell, the brain doesn't die. Your mind doesn't die. You know what consciousness is? Consciousness is
It's the glue that holds the goats together.
I wrote it down somewhere. It was not consciousness.
I like mine. It's the glue that holds the goats together.
But consciousness is consciousness is what connects all the ants. I wrote it. And that's what consciousness is. It's the ant's awareness of the other ants. That's what in your brain. That's what life is. It's the awareness above it. But if every ant is killed, the colony disappears and the ants can't see each other anymore, and so the consciousness fades. So the consciousness doesn't exist, but it's the awareness of the ants looking at each other. And that's the line that you created when you tore the piece of paper in half. That's the
golden mean.
No, it's like well, sort of, because you can't get to the golden mean. The golden mean's the perfect center, and you have to tear the paper in half to get the center, and you can't tear the paper in half. But the paper is life. It's the infinite edge of. Don't you see?
I see a raving lunatic.
No, because moral laws, right?
All right.
You just can't. The moral laws, right? Okay, what we do. See, we keep drawing a line, right? We have a pencil, and we're drawing a line. And then we get a thinner pencil and draw a line inside that line, and a thinner pencil. And the process of drawing the lines, it's not the line that's moral, it turns out. It's the hand that draws the line. That makes sense?
Sure.
Or like, how about this? When you build like a statue, it's not the hands that put the pieces together. And sorry, it's not the statue that's the artwork of art. It's the hands that build the statue.
So you just have like a bunch of severed hands in front of the statue?
No, because they have to be building the statue. The severed hands aren't art. It's the hands building. It's the action. It's the human doing, not the human being.
I want to be a human doing, not a human being. I couldn't keep that passive if I tried. And something of my tension doesn't something else. Something. I'm calling out to Scotland. Calling out to Scatman's world. If you want to be free, you better listen to me.
Scatman John or something?
Yeah.
I just guessed by the accent. But so another way to morals aren't a noun; they're a verb. Right? Like remember that right? Morals are at the other end of infinity, so we have to walk the path to infinity, but we'll never get to the other end because it takes forever. Okay? But it isn't the end of the path where the morals actually are.
It's along the path.
No, it's walking the path.
Oh, that's
morals.
Well, the Japanese figured that out before you.
No, everyone has. That's what I'm saying. Journey before the destination. Yeah. Human being, not a human doing. Human doing, not a human being.
Yeah, but that's why the samurai followed the way of the warrior, not the destination of the warrior.
Yeah, that's the do.
Yeah.
That's the do, man.
Yeah.
Like Bushido. That's the do.
Yeah.
It's the way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the there is no, like, if you climb a mountain to get, in Peaceful Warrior,
mm-hmm.
he says there's I want to show you an amazing thing. And he climbs up a mountain and his apprentice follows him up the mountain. And at the top, and he's super excited. And at the top of the mountain, he looks around and says, "What do you want to show me?" And he says, "I already showed it to you."
Yeah.
It was the climb up the mountain. And that's why you can't fly a helicopter to the top of the mountain. You have to climb the mountain, because flying the helicopter to the top you're not actually climbing the mountain. And it's not about being at the top of the mountain. It's about climbing to the top of the mountain. It's important. And that's why I think
that riding motorcycles is more important than driving cars, because you have to experience the journey while driving a motorcycle, whereas a car is just something to get you somewhere, whereas a motorcycle is a device to bring you on a journey.
Is it?
I'm quoting a different book, which is The Art of Zen and Motorcycle Maintenance.
But I think we're killing ourselves like humans.
Like, we're killing ourselves every day, man.
No, but like we are like we don't have bartering anymore in stores, right? Because
actually you can barter in stores. You might just get in trouble.
We're like animals curled around our wounds, because when you're like, let's say like you get stabbed in the ankle and you just like curl around your ankle and you don't move until the pain goes away, but the pain just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, because you know what you have to do? You have to move, right? But what we've done is we don't like interaction because it's scary and it hurts. So we found ways to avoid interaction. So stores don't have bartering anymore, because if you're a bad barter, you might lose money, and if you're a good barter, you might make money. And it's too difficult, so we got rid of it. And so we're taking the easy route every time, but we have to exercise our ankles or we'll never walk. Yeah, we're not walking anymore. We're just like, you know, like we've become creatures of comfort, but the comfort's killing us, because
You're listening to the Philosopher.
we don't climb mountains anymore, right? Like, you know, Dresden Files and like Brandon Sanderson, right?
Yeah.
Like Brandon Sanderson, he has rules of magic, right? Like, you know Brandon Sanderson's rules of magic?
Yeah.
Like, he has rules where like magic has to have laws, and that's his law of magic, is that magic has to have rules. But the problem with rules is that if everything had an answer, we could simply use instinct. So he's just created physics. He hasn't created magic. Magic is a metaphor. Magic isn't physics. Otherwise, magic doesn't work. That's why the sun is gold, and fire is knowledge, and that's why in Lord of the Rings with the Nazgul, the fire drives off the Nazgul, because the Nazgul are the darkness, they're the unknown, they're fear, and fire is knowledge, and knowledge defeats fear, and that's why dark things are afraid of fire, because magic is metaphor. So fire that's how you burn the spirit world, that's how you attack evil, and that's why the Dresden Files has better magic, I think, than Brandon Sanderson. And I think the best magic system is Malazan Book of the Fallen, because
It's absolute.
Because it's metaphor. Its illusion is water. The healing is earth. Like it's metaphor. And that's life. But we don't have life anymore. We have superstores without bartering. And like maybe if I like let you talk, it seem less ranty. But don't just say it's. But you see what I'm saying? Like the morals, you have to walk the infinite path. You can't.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Walk the infinite stair and don't fall down it or you'll break your neck.
You can't fall down it because that's still journeying on it. Like you're if you get lost along the way, you're still walking, and it's the walking that matters, not where you are on the path. Because the path is infinite, so you could be anywhere along the path and it doesn't matter.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
If you're in the center of a circle, every direction points to the same place. Because it doesn't matter, because the circle has infinite sides.
Yes.
Yeah. Kind of like black holes, right? Like they're...
I was actually thinking the exact same thing when you're talking about that. You can't... Every direction's...
into a black hole.
Yeah.
That's deep. Like black holes...
Actually, they are deep if you're going by space-time. They're really deep.
Yeah, and it's like... But if you think about it, like a black hole...
is the garbage bin of the universe.
It's sort of like the journey towards morality, because...
Alright, Cameron?
Every step you take takes you closer to the truth, which in this case is being shredded by a black hole.
Yeah, not even shredded, it's being obliterated.
Yeah, well, there's like...
They get rid of matter.
Well, there's like the chaos spaghetti theory, where I think it's called, where, like, if you get closer to a black hole, because, like, on Earth, your head weighs less than your feet,
yeah,
because your feet are closer to the ground.
Yeah.
But in a black hole, the tidal forces are so extreme that you'd be torn apart into a long strand.
Yeah, that's the same thing with a neutron star.
Like, yeah, you'd be torn apart into this like long strand, and like whipped about and incinerated. And although I think Stephen Hawking's last thing was that he doesn't think black holes would actually incinerate you because it'd be too fast or something. Like
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but he changed his mind about black holes slightly.
Yeah. Actually, I have a thought. So, are pulsars the universal like kill code? The universe's kill code? Like, because pulsar, like sends out those waves of radiation
Yeah.
that obliterate all life on planets, and they have the density of a neutron star.
Yeah.
So they also have the chaos spaghetti. If you get near them, you'll get torn into a faintly long thread of your not faintly long, but like a thread of one particle length.
Now, are you confusing?
Isn't that a pulsar? Or?
Well, I think a pulsar is a rapidly rotating neutron star.
Yeah.
But black holes are the ones, I think, that shoot out the gamma radiation.
I thought it was also neutron stars do it.
Maybe, but I think it's black holes.
Yeah. Well, either or, one of the two is the universal's kill code.
Yeah. Well, black holes, like, they're terrifying. Like, a black hole, if it rotates in the right direction, it wipes out everything along its beam, right?
Yeah.
Which means life on Earth could end instantly. Bam. We wouldn't even know. Because this, like, gamma radiation, like, nothing ever seen, could, like, a black hole could just accidentally point in the right direction. Boom, the Earth is gone. Or a roaming black hole, it's like this invisible black hole that's flinging through space. And that could just, like, because black holes, everything moves towards them. Like, light, distance, time. Like, you can't actually leave a black hole unless you time travel. Because every direction is into the black hole.
Yeah, so you have to time travel when it's not there.
So if you get hit by a black hole, time might stop, and you wouldn't know it. It'd just be over. Like it could just be like boom, and the world is gone. Everything we've ever built is gone. All the fossils in the museums of the dinosaurs, 4.5 billion years of life, gone in a second because they were a rogue black hole.
And that's why Lovecraft made cosmic horrors.
Could be. I think black holes were after him, but
I know,
but maybe
black hole is like a cosmic horror. Like there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah, like it's just like meteors. We think, oh, we could nuke it, or we could stick a rocket on it and push it, or we could.
Yeah, meteors like Dagon, and a black hole is like Cthulhu.
Maybe the other way around.
What?
Well, not either really. Like Cthulhu is a weaker being in that universe.
Yeah, but Dagon's weaker than Cthulhu.
Is he?
Yeah, Dagon, the dragon, the dragon.
The Dagon's like the fish man, I think.
Yeah, he's a giant fish man under the water. When he wakes up, he causes earthquakes. He's Cthulhu's greatest servant.
Right. But Cthulhu's like, he's on the scale of Earth, like sort of thing, I guess. Well, I don't know. They don't really have scale, do they?
No, but I'm saying like a lesser versus.
Although I shouldn't really be saying anything because I haven't read the.
Yeah, but I'm saying like you can do something about Dagon. Like you could like bombard him with cannonballs and he might feel it, whereas Cthulhu wouldn't care.
Yeah, well, you might be able to like, I don't know. But someone like what are like the big ones like,
Aster?
Yeah, or like the really big ones like there's like these angels of death or something like that. That's kind of like the black hole. It's just this. It can wipe out like a solar system just coming through. Solar system's gone. It could be coming the speed of light. Like you can't. It's invisible. Like it would be like you wouldn't even know. Like it could eat Jupiter and we wouldn't know because it was coming to us at the speed of the light that's coming towards us saying Jupiter's gone. And it'd be eating that light along the way.
And well, no, the light would never escape Jupiter. It's just gone.
Yeah, but the okay, I guess. But like the old light would keep coming.
So rogue black holes are invisible, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, black holes are invisible.
Yeah, but a rogue black hole, you'll never see it until it gets to you.
It's undetectable. There could be one coming here right now, and like everything would end, and we wouldn't know it. It'd just be over. And something like that makes you sort of believe in like that last Thursdayism, where it's like the universe was just created like last Thursday. Because if it can end like that, then surely it can just start like that. You'd like to think.
Yeah, Camreon just a rogue black hole goes through, and then a rogue white hole goes through.
Because we want the universe to have meaning, right? But I guess it doesn't have to.
Well, maybe white holes are meaning, and we just have to find one.
Yeah. But like this is. I'm reading Maps of Meaning. I'm on like page 9 or something.
Yeah.
And he talks about how Nietzsche said we can't abandon Christianity and keep their morals, or we must become gods. Right? That's basically what he said. Like he said, if the Christianity gave us these morals, we can't abandon Christianity and then say their morals are founded on something, because those morals are just floating around then, so they're worthless. Which is a fair point, I think. But what Jordan Peterson doesn't seem to be addressing yet in 9 pages of 1,000, so he's doing a terrible job, is Nietzsche gave us a second option. It wasn't that we have to embrace Christianity or we have to become nihilist. So he had 3 options, right? We could embrace Christianity, we could become nihilists, or we could become gods.
Yeah, we have to be the gods ourselves.
And
God is dead, we killed him, now we have to be the gods ourselves.
It's not... Yeah, like
That's the abbreviated form what he said.
Yeah, but what he actually... Well, no, he said he didn't say we should become gods. He said we should all despair and be nihilists, basically. But we could become God... And he said, like, it's incredibly arrogant to say you can become God.
Yeah.
But all you have to do, I think, to be God is to walk the infinite path. Because isn't that something a god would do?
Yep.
It's like they walk... Like, it's like Gandalf, right? He climbs the infinite stair and becomes enlightened and God. Like,
he becomes Gandalf the White.
Yeah, like he walks the infinite path
and casts down the Balrog onto the mountainside.
He casts down darkness because he walked
darkness
the
and fire.
He walked the path of morality. He
Yeah. So,
but do you think like we can take this is like there's churches, right? You ever heard of them?
Yeah.
Like, they study the Bible and pull out all this meaning out of the Bible, right?
Yeah.
But I just said Gandalf climbed like the infinite stair. That's the path of morality. It was the action of going along the infinite path to knowledge, throws down evil to fire, and it's corrupted fire. So it's wrongly applied knowledge. That's what the Balrog is. That's what Saruman is, and because it's fire, which is knowledge, wreathed with darkness and smoke. So it's knowledge misapplied. And Saruman became evil because he's the wisest of the wizards, but he joined Sauron because all his knowledge he used wrong because you need wisdom. And so Gandalf gained the wisdom, he gained morality by climbing the infinite stair, cast down the wrong knowledge. And so you can say, wow, that's deep and stuff. But it doesn't have to be there at all.
Yeah.
Like, I doubt Tolkien was going for like he was going for the old epics of like the climbing the infinite stair, like Hercules pulling a continent sort of thing.
Yeah.
But those old epics, maybe they didn't know what they were talking about, but they felt like something was close. So I guess the question is, can you look for whatever you want in a story? Or is human experience actually very small to the point where we repeat the same ideas over and over again and can see them everywhere? Because I think Jung said that, the second one, basically, where he said, like, he called it the collective unconsciousness.
Yeah.
But for that to work, there'd have to be, like, 3 lessons for humanity to see them that often. Like, surely I couldn't pull that out of anything if people were unconsciously putting that in there. That means everyone was thinking the same things on some level.
I think...
Which sounds like we don't think about much.
Yeah, I'm not so certain about there being just, like, a super limited amount. But I don't know.
Or I guess it could be a bit of both. Like,
because there's at the one point, 5 kinds of stories, and a guy invented a 6th.
Well, someone claimed there was, like, 7 or something, but there's others. It's not like you can invent a different one. It's like the Japanese use a different storytelling method that we don't use at all in the West, except very rarely. Like, there's a story called The Story of an Hour, and that's more similar to the Japanese style.
Oh, yeah.
And the Japanese style is basically, you present one thing, you present a second thing that's totally unrelated, and then you present a third thing that makes you... It's not related to the first 2 exactly, but it makes you see the first 2 in a totally different light. And...
yeah, that's why some anime is really confusing.
And so it's like this weird storytelling method that we don't really have in the West. For the most part. Or was it The Story of an Hour that did that, or was it The Necklace? Or maybe both, I can't remember. The Story of an Hour, a woman's told her husband's dead, and then she's suddenly really happy because she feels free, because she can do whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Even though she loved him, she suddenly feels free. Yeah. And then he comes home because it turned out it was someone else that died, and she has a heart attack and dies.
Yeah.
And so there's not really a plot arc there.
No.
There's not a villain, there's not a...
Yeah. He shows up, and then people are like, oh, she must have died of joy.
Yeah. And so it just sort of like... It's like changing context constantly, I guess. So that could be sort of like that Japanese style. And then The Necklace...
I did not read that.
I
did not read that.
I did not read that.
I do not know.
I don't remember the necklace, how it... it went. But it was, I think it was an unusual thing as well.
You're listening to The Fool and the Philosopher.
Yeah, so that's what I think of that.
All right.
I'm glad, because it helped me think it through as well.
All right, and we're done with it?
Probably not.
Oh.
But it's kind of related to Kant, Connor, and this is the Kant podcast.
No.
You did mention there's a podcast called Philosopher and Fool or something, or Fool and Philosopher or whatever it is. It's like, I think it's the same as ours, but with a the, or we have a the and they don't.
We have a the and they don't.
Yeah. And I because I was typing in to look at up ours, and I came across theirs, and they stopped like about a year ago now.
Yeah.
Because it was in November, they stopped, and I was like, wow, we have like the same name. They started before us, so I was like, should we like? Well, the names are different technically.
Yeah.
But I was like, should we talk a little bit? Hey, we should do like a guest thing together or something. But it looks like they stopped, and I only watched the very start of theirs, and they started with like, so aliens, what do you think? And it's like, there's gotta be. But the one guy seemed really angry at his friend or something. I don't know. It was odd.
Yeah. Well, also, it's one guy who hosts it with other people. So like, he has a different person on every time.
He's the philosopher, and he brings on fools. Or maybe he's the fool and brings on philosophers.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I was going to say, like, there's, like, a talk show podcast host sort of guy who brings people on that are a lot smarter than him to learn from them, all these things. But it's sort of, because you could call yourself the fool that's learning from all the philosophers, right? Like, Larry King, like, probably the most famous talk show host guy there is. I saw an interview with him, and he was saying how, like, he loves learning from everyone because everyone knows something he doesn't.
Yeah.
So you could almost say that was the fool and the philosopher with him as the fool. Which isn't to say he's foolish, it's just like he's the one being enlightened every time.
Yeah.
Because he talks to people from every field in existence.
Yeah.
And like, so I guess you could. So that'd be kind of cool actually for an interview show to be called The Fool and the Philosopher.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Or the Fool and Philosophers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man.
You are listening to The Fool and the Philosopher.
Man, dude. Whoa.
Dude, man.
The world is nothing but like
Infinite path. Right. So, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I think I know the answer now.
Okay.
So my question was, what's your ideal vacation? But I think I now know it's walking the infinite path.
Oh man, that's not
climbing
vacation, that's
the
life.
stair.
That's not vacation. You do that every day or you're not living. And if you're not living, you can't be on vacation. So the ideal vacation, man, is
A person carrying you up the stairs.
no, because
You gotta walk it yourself.
you gotta
man.
walk it yourself or you're not living. You gotta, if you have to say, where's the good man? And you gotta, and the people along the way say, you are, man, because you're walking the infinite stair. And you say, but you're talking to me, man, so you're right there with me. I was like, yeah.
Alright, so what's your ideal vacation? That was the last thing on my little sticky note.
Ideal vacation. I would like to go to, I don't know, I'm kind of sick of traveling for the most part. I don't like planes so much, so my ideal vacation would either be no traveling or it would be a long vacation with only a bit of traveling to get there and a bit to get back. I would go...
And not much traveling while you're there?
Yeah. So I would go to, like, I kind of want to go to Ireland someday. I don't know if that's like an ideal vacation, though, because I don't think a place is an ideal vacation. And also, the UK is kind of scary right now, in my opinion. Because their police are determining morality, which is how you get the Balrog.
Yeah.
With,
That's how you get Judge Dredd.
Yeah, it's like it's not what law's for. Law's meant to be, unless you tear the paper in half, but if you tear the paper in half, you have to be very careful because you can't put it back together. It's not going to work. Glue doesn't count because it'll never be the same. You can't cross the same river twice, but you can ride down the river and stay on the same section of you. You can. Well, he put the paper back together, but it'll never be the same. So I stand by what I said. I think, yeah. So like ideal vacation. I would like.
Well, you sort of said with the traveling somewhere and then staying there for a while.
It would be with a friend.
Mm.
It wouldn't be with family. And because the only time I've really gone somewhere else with a friend was in Victoria, and it was a great time, even though I don't like Victoria that much. Well, Victoria's beautiful, actually. I really like Victoria. I just don't like living there.
Mm. You don't like silverfish, I think.
Yeah, and
accurate.
it's really damp and dark all the time, and it's rainy and it's cold. It's colder than here because it's just damp. So like the slightest bit of chill makes your joints ache. And
what is that, like rheumatoid disease?
No, it's just
Isn't that rheumatoids where like the damp makes your joints hurt?
maybe. I don't know. But it's just it's cold.
So you want to be someplace damp.
Well, I don't know. I really.
You said you want to go to Ireland.
But if I'm on vacation, I like a bit of rain. Like when we've been to BC and we stayed in that giant house and it was raining all the time and we could go down to the ocean, and I like that. I don't like the ocean, but I like that. I think I don't know. I kind of like the ocean, but I don't. So maybe somewhere like sort of like I think the place I'd want to live most in the world, right? It would have winter, but winter wouldn't be too cold. And it would have summer, and summer wouldn't be too warm. And that is the UK. Like that is the place in the world to do that. The other option is like...
No, that's the same for me.
Yeah. Like the UK is kind of ideal in some ways actually to live in. But it's a bit crowded. And so maybe like northern UK would be nice. But for a vacation, like, I don't know. Like Africa looks beautiful, but I hear it's hot there and I don't like the heat. So...
What's that one comedian saying? Humans aren't designed for Earth? Because he's saying like you put a human in a hot place. And it's like, it's too hot. It's too humid here. Cool it down a little and make it a little bit more dry. And so you slap them up in the far north and like, boy, it's cold here. I could do with a little moisture. And so then you put them somewhere like the UK. And like, it's a bit damp here. So
it's always dark.
Yeah, so you find the ideal location for them where it's just warm enough, just cold enough, just enough moisture, just a little enough. And it's like, it's a bit boring. No special weather happens here. It's like, could do with something interesting, like maybe a snowstorm, just to break up the monotony.
Well, that's the thing about Victoria as well. The weather never changes. Like winter, summer, it's all the same.
Yeah.
Which kind of drove me mad. Like like living through winter, it's cleansing. Like it's sort of like being a phoenix. Like you're reborn. Whereas in Victoria, you just sort of suffer for the rest of your life. So.
Sorry. Did you put the legal marijuanas in your breakfast cereal this morning?
No. Why? It's just how Victoria works.
Okay.
Because it's always...
Going through winter is like climbing a thick stair, but living in Victoria is like sitting on the porch of monotony.
Victoria's the Balrog.
You have to cast it down, you have to smote its ruin upon the mountainside, thus breaking the mountain.
Because you know what the Balrog did, Connor?
The Balrog?
In water, it became a thing of slime. And that's Victoria.
It's when you get damp, it becomes this thing of slime.
Yeah, and it's always damp. Like they have summer, like it's warmer and the winter's colder and rainier, but there's never snow, and like they have storms all the time. Storms are pretty fun. I like a good storm, like being trapped in a house with a friend in a storm. That's fun. Good time to play.
Baby, it's cold outside.
Because it's a good excuse to play video games.
See,
or
that's
whatever.
what that song's about.
Yeah, it's like
Because baby, it's cold outside. Stick around, baby.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a bit of an odd song.
No, it's a great song.
I'm not a fan.
I really like it.
I don't like it. But I don't know. I don't like most Christmas music. I like the good old like religious Christmas music.
Like,
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay.
Yeah, I love that one.
It's just, it's so dark.
'Twas in the moon of winter time, Jesus is born, Jesus is born, in excelsis Gloria.
Like I'd join a cult. This for the chanting.
Oh, or you could join a monastery and they do the Gregorian chants. Like,
I guess. But what's the difference between like a cult and a religion? Like
population amount in
or
it.
like popularity or something?
Yeah.
Or I think cults are like a single sect, whereas a religion is like everyone's
Maybe.
probably. But yeah, so vacation. I'd like to go somewhere like I don't know. I like mountains, but I don't like the ocean. But I kind of, there's something about the ocean. Like Morocco, is that?
Cliffs of Dover?
Except Morocco's all like deserty, I think.
Yeah. So like the Giant's Causeway?
That'd be cool, except I don't want to go to the UK because of their moralizing. Oh, but so Ireland's not in the UK though, like the real Ireland.
Yeah.
Oh. See, that's
What you say there, mate?
well, that's how the terrorists win, though, isn't it? Like they make you afraid,
Yeah.
and for good reason sometimes.
Yes.
But at the same time, I don't know. I think
What are they called? The IRA?
yeah, they're
The IRS?
the IRA. Yeah, the IRA are not as big, and I think Ireland, like, well, they're both Ireland, but
One of them's true Ireland.
well, one of them's been conquered by the Brits like hundreds of years ago, and it's not something you can fix. But you can, I guess, but not easily.
What about like what is it called? Finland.
Like not. I wouldn't go to Finland. If I went to Scandinavia, I'd like to go to like Norway or Sweden. I think
Sweden.
because Finland is it's kind of landlocked, so it'd be like here, except wetter.
Yeah. So Sweden or Norway?
Yeah, Sweden.
Sweden.
Norway.
Norway.
Yeah. Or
You mean Norway?
yeah. I really liked Denmark when we were there.
Oh yeah, Denmark was nice.
Yeah, it's like really quaint sort of and like
Kind of damp.
nice. But it's nice.
Yeah.
It's like I like a damp country sometimes.
Yeah.
But they have to have stone buildings, not wood. Like
So it gets some good damp in them. Proper damp. That's actually a really nice hotel in Denmark. It was,
like
besides that one bed was made out of solid stone. I do not know how they managed that.
like we've been all around Europe because you can go all around Europe in a single trip.
Yeah.
if
you're willing to drive yourself slightly insane.
and go on Ryanair and spend like $10 per flight.
Yeah.
And like Rome is insanely hot. It's I think it's beautiful, but I was just dying of heat stroke the entire time, I think. And also like actually dying of disease.
Yeah.
But it's really cool. Like I've never seen a city like Rome, how they have like public fountains everywhere that you can drink from.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen that before. That's how hot the place is.
Yeah.
they need like water for their citizens so they don't collapse at all times, which is crazy. But like that's a place people weren't meant to live. And the greatest city in ancient times was there somehow.
Well, climate does move
Outside
around.
of China.
Climate moves around, Cameron. Like the Fertile Crescent disappeared and moved towards Rome. That moved up and hit lower France. Now it's moving up and hitting lower England.
Maybe. I guess that kind of makes sense.
Well, I just know that's because of where you can grow wine for grapes.
It just seems fast. Like, because Rome wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
It was only like 2,000 years. Yeah. Or 1,000 years, depending on the fall.
Yeah.
But, and it's still around. It's an amazing city. Like, I've never seen an older city.
Yeah. And Prague is cool.
Yeah, no. It's older than London, isn't it?
Yeah.
Prague is amazing. Like, Prague is probably the most beautiful city I've been in. I'd like to go to Germany sometime. But when you say ideal vacation, that's still not a place necessarily, right? Like, so I guess the ideal vacation is stuff you can do, how about?
Yeah.
So it's like, are you hiking a mountain? Are you at a ski lodge? Are you, like, going paddling every day, scuba
Sitting on a
diving?
beach.
Yeah. So I like scuba diving, right? I haven't done it very often, but I really like it. And I like hiking if it's cool. And I like, it's got to be Hawaii then, doesn't it? Because Hawaii's the only place with, like, every climate.
Yeah. Actually,
Within walking distance.
Costa Rica has every climate.
But a place with mountains, I guess. That's it. Like a tropical place with mountains is...
No, my problem with Costa Rica is I really like it.
Yeah.
And the cloud forest is one of my favorite places, I think, on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, it is beautiful. It is really lovely just to walk around there.
Yeah.
It's really just so cool looking, and there's some really neat stuff to do. But it is the most terrifying place to get to, in my opinion. Because getting to the cloud forest...
Oh, yeah, the crazy paths of the...
You have to drive along mountain paths that are barely maintained, and sometimes they're one-lane roads, or it feels like it, and everyone's driving fast on them, and they're like really sharp turns. And it's not like driving on a normal mountain, like you're driving along the side of the mountain, so there's a cliff to your left and like a cliff going down.
Yeah.
You're driving on the mountain ridge, and so it's to either side of you is falling.
Yeah.
and it's just insane. Like some of the corner stuff, and I don't know. I feel like I had like a minor stroke or something driving with someone getting there. It's like, just please slow down. You're driving too fast. Like, please slow down.
So, my ideal vacation would be like Hawaii, have some sort of bed and breakfast, very nice, got a lot of space to yourself, we're there with a friend, but you also need like to be able to do adventures and explore a bit. So and for that sort of thing, you need
A helicopter pilot.
it to not be like a tourist like thing exactly. You need it to be like a normal city. So unfortunately, Hawaii doesn't actually work. Like, because in Victoria, that's a normal city. Right. So when me and my friend were like going around Victoria, we were just having a great time, like jumping on the double-decker bus and like getting lost in the industrial section and stuff. And I like that. So maybe I'll just sleep in instead.
Deal. Actually, so
I don't know. I can't.
in school, a friend of mine, we had a project in our English class, which was what is your ideal vacation? And we were sort of given a prompt of a plane trip or a road trip.
Yeah.
And I chose plane trip, and I say, yeah, you get to travel places, like, pretty basic. My friend decided he thought both options were boring and stupid. He didn't like either of them. And he wrote, my ideal vacation is staying home. Because you can view anything on the planet using Google Earth. You're in the comfort of your own home. It's cheaper than travel. Like, it was a really compelling argument.
I thought that once, but I've been trapped here for so long.
You're getting cabin fever?
Yeah. I like amenities. Like plumbing, best invention humans ever came up with, right?
Yeah, and the UK doesn't have it.
That's actually, yeah, that is a problem. I didn't think about that. But like because you know the world, right? It's like a place.
It's like an infinite stair you walk on. Because you can walk around the world over and over again, never get to the end of it.
It's very quantum.
Yes. Very quantum.
The world's a place.
Yeah, the world's a place.
Yeah.
The world's a place where you just need to go to the bathroom sometimes. There's no bathroom.
Right. Like, I love being up in the mountains and hiking mountains and stuff. I've done a lot of backpacking trips.
Yeah.
But, like, plumbing's nice.
Yeah.
And you tend not to be on the top of mountains.
You're listening to The Fool and the Philosopher.
Oh, what if you had the superpower to summon toilets to you that had working plumbing?
I mean, yes.
And like a little shelter around them.
Kind of lame, but
Kind of lame.
yeah. But, I mean, it would be useful. But I'd rather have, like, a cooler power. But, I mean...
Would you rather have a cooler power? I think utility powers are pretty decent.
Yeah, but that's not even very good utility power, because you can just go in the woods. Like, you don't need a toilet in it.
Yeah, but what if you're like in the middle of a city and you can't find a public washroom? Boom! You summon yourself your TARDIS bathroom.
But
you sit inside.
You know what you're saying? You're like in Victorian England, and you're like, it's like, oh, I say, Sir Connerbold, what if you had a power? And you're like, oh, well, what if you had, you could be walking along, and boom, there's your sink with all your makeup, and you could just readjust your face and put on a fresh wig whenever you liked, and it's just the most like genteel sort of like, oh, I don't want to touch nature, so I'll have like a porcelain summoning power. It's like, you're not living unless you wipe your butt with moss.
I disagree. I think that's surviving.
Problem with moss though is it can break apart and then, yeah. Anyways.
And sometimes it has sassafras in it.
Pine cones work as well, but you have to use them in the right direction or you're in trouble.
Yeah, and sometimes moss has sassafras in it.
No, it doesn't. Rocks do. But
don't wet your butt with sassafras.
Or rocks.
Yeah.
But away from the vulgarities, yeah, like I wouldn't want like such a genteel sort of superpower. Where
I have the superpower to summon amour to myself.
Imagine if you were always clean, or you always had a fresh pair of socks.
You always smelled.
Actually, a fresh pair of socks would probably be quite handy. But
you always smelled pleasant.
Yes. Well, I mean that's
to whoever. No, you smell pleasant to whoever you're with. So like, you have a pleasant smell to anyone.
Well, that'd be kind of cool, actually.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be like, oh, you smell like cigarette smoking dead cats. You want to go on a date? No.
Hey, you smell like my favorite dead cats and cigarette smell. I'll go out and go back to my truck trailer and
Full of
have a
cigarettes
good
and dead
time.
cats.
Oh, I don't know. It's been a while since I cleaned up the dead cat. It's starting to smell, but that's just how you do smell.
Yeah, that'd be a cool power though.
Yeah.
Like beyond, and it'd let you learn about people quickly. Like, what if this?
Wow, you really smell like elephant manure.
Yeah, all right. Well, bye. Like, it'd be a good filter to
Yeah.
like keep away from crazy people.
Yes. You smell like a graveyard.
Yeah, that'd be.
What was that whole thing actually? There's in one of the DC comics. It was Deathstroke is meeting with someone in the graveyard,
Mhm.
and the one guy's like, "I just like, why are we in such a macabre location?" And the other guy's, "Oh no, I like graveyards. There's just something about them. They're so peaceful. But you know, the dead always have a bit of life left in them." And then Deathstroke's just like, "Yeah, you're weird. Can we just get to business, please?" And it's just sort of like dealing with a lot of those weirdos in the graveyard.
Ooh! I looked it up.
Yeah?
Discworld is 41 books long.
Yeah, I looked that up too.
Suck it. Yeah.
What? You have the power to...
Suck it.
Cameron? Right. Actually, everyone has this superpower. However, you can do it way faster. Like, it's instant. You have the power to prove pointless things. Like, just no pointless facts. Only for situations, though, where you prove someone wrong. I mean, that's basically having a smartphone.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, I don't.
See, Cameron, you have the power to summon a fresh clothing to yourself. You can summon an armor and also a changing booth.
Well, that one's not as bad in some ways because it's actually like a utility beyond just something that you can already do, but in a different way.
I don't know. You can't just walk down the middle of Main Street and like go to the bathroom on Main Street.
Well, you can though, is the thing, right? Whereas you can't change clothes without clothes.
Mm.
So it doesn't actually affect your life. It just changes how it. It just changes the means slightly, but the end is the same.
Yeah.
Well, except you might end up in jail. But
Yeah.
but you know, beyond that, it's basically the same.
Mm.
Yeah, Discworld 41 books long. I was right. I looked it up and
Yeah, I looked it up too.
yeah, I had to because
You had to, because you had to prove me wrong.
yeah.
Yes. You know, stuff like that is stopping on the infinite stair and trying to just prove how clever you are.
You are listening to The Fool and the Philosopher.
So can we go back to magic?
Sure, like, it's a card game that I'm addicted to. However, I think I've shifted the addiction.
Yeah, by playing online
Yes, because
so
you get the
spend money faster
No, you get the cards free.
until it slows down, and then to keep the high going, you start spending all your earnings and then taking out loans, selling your cat.
You're selling your dead cat or your cigarette ash.
Yeah. So magic, right?
Yeah.
It's very quantum, but
Your statement is meaningless.
no, it's quantum.
Quantum. So, you want to talk about Legend of Zelda?
No, I want to talk about magic.
No, we already did that. I just said everything
No.
you need to ever know about magic in the most meaningful way possible. I had like the most meaning possible.
Right.
In the least.
But for those of us that aren't as clever as you, like we gotta slow down a bit.
All right. Quantum.
No, we gotta use like smaller words,
Quantum.
like smaller ones.
Quantum.
No, that's the same word.
No. Quantum.
Right. So, I was thinking about like magic in books, right?
Yeah.
I think probably Brandon Sanderson has these laws of magic, but it makes it so his magic isn't magic; it's just physics. I think.
Sometimes.
And
I think what he's trying to do is, well, you don't know them, they're magic.
yeah,
And then he reveals them and they become physics. I think his is more discovery of physics. It's like, look.
yeah. But see, the thing is, like,
I think that's how he's writing them, though.
like I can with a magic powder light it on fire and create air.
I can, with a magic power, stick at my nose and get tons of energy and become really happy.
Exactly. Or I can put a salve on a burn that will make it heal faster, or cure dementia using liquid from a well that's located in Epsom, or
Epsom? Yeah.
because like sheep that drunk from a certain well were cured of their blindness
Yeah.
and pains
Yeah.
because of the Epsom salts in the water.
Yeah.
And so that already exists. So
Why don't we use Epsom salts anymore?
we do.
Because like I remember listening to that whole story about the guy,
It's just lead poison is not as common.
the vet
Yeah.
who went around and
James
like,
Harriet.
Yeah, James Harriet, and he's always like administering Epsom salt to people and pets.
Yeah, well, because it cures lead poisoning, I think.
Ah.
And it accelerates healing, which is fascinating.
Hmm.
There used to be this temple in Delphi, I think, where the oracle was possibly, and around it were these great slabs of Epsom, and people would like go to the temple to get slabs of Epsom to like create their own healing potions. Basically.
Didn't that
Like Epsom salts makes you Wolverine. Like you drink it, your wounds heal faster.
really?
Yeah, like twice as fast or something.
Wow.
Which is like, it takes a month instead of 2 months, but
Didn't that oracle though also like inhale mercury fumes to see the future?
maybe, or she was just insane.
No, but I'm pretty sure like there's this one oracle that would like sit over a brazier, like breathe in like the flames from a volcano. Oh, sorry, no, this is where is that called? Pompeii, the oracle of Pompeii. In her temple, she sat.
it was on a crack in the...
Yeah, it's on a crack with just sulfur pouring up into her face.
Yeah. But the most famous oracle, the Oracle of Delphi, I don't know if that was the only one, but she was famous for saying completely true statements that were dumb. It was like, should I go to war? It's like, if you go to war, an army shall be victorious. And then he lost, and she's, told you. It's like,
Second.
hey!
Oh, yeah,
Got him!
Oracle of Delphine's just like a YouTube prankster before YouTube was around. Like, today we're gonna prank a guy and make him think he'll win a battle. It's gonna be sick. Come on, fam, watch this.
Yeah, shoot. But,
And then he's like, we lost. Ah!
so Brandon Sanderson isn't actually doing magic. He's doing physics before we understood physics.
Yeah.
So I don't think he should call his stuff laws of magic, because he doesn't have magic in his books.
Well, he has air on the side of awesome, though.
Yeah, but he betrayed me in his latest book as well, because he said you have to always follow the rules, and he broke all the rules. And
The rules were meant to be broken.
and so he...
He didn't break the rules. It's just rules he hadn't revealed yet.
Yeah, but if he hasn't revealed the rules, then the whole point of his laws of magic is thrown out the window, because it means that you can always just pull something else out. Like, because his whole point...
Well, maybe he's already writ all the limits, and so he knows them, but we don't.
Yeah, but it's about the reader that he does it.
Mm-hmm. Oh no, I thought it was really awesome, and a lot of people agree with me. It's really awesome.
Yeah, but
I just feel betrayed,
but
man.
you're wrong, because...
No, I'm not wrong.
No, because Brandon Sanderson says you have to always... The cool thing isn't the magic, it's the use of the magic. Whereas in this case, the magic was meant to be the cool thing. So Brandon Sanderson broke his own rule.
No, he was erring on the side of awesome.
By like a factor of like 100.
Yeah, because it was really awesome.
Yeah, but he broke his rules. And that would be okay if his series was about metaphorical magic. Like in Dresden Files, when Dresden needs to cast a spell and he's out of nothing, he's been beaten up horribly.
He reaches deep,
into himself, and he looks for... Because magic is emotion, which means that as long as you have emotions left, you can cast magic, basically. And so he'll look at anger and hurt and sadness, and he'll put them into his spells. And so there's always something. Or he can, like, take the...
Pain of...
he can, like, redirect a thunderstorm.
Yeah.
Because it's all energy, so he can redirect the energy of a thunderstorm. So his stuff is still clever, but it's metaphorical, because it's like, wait, there's energy in fire, I'll draw the energy from the fire, I'll draw the energy from the thunderstorm, which actually means Dresden, if you thought about it, probably has infinite power. Yeah. But he...
There's only so much that can go through him, though. It's also sort of
because he's like a conduit. And like, because there's a part where he's getting cursed, and he's able to redirect the curse a few times by channeling it through himself, but then the curse is strong enough that he can't.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. What are they called? What... The guy who broke the rule you came up with.
Brandon Sanderson?
No, the character in the book, Dalinar.
Yeah.
What was his position called?
He's called the Lawbreaker or something.
No.
Or he's called the Chainbreaker or something, right?
No, the position is he's like a something smith or something, and
Soulsmith?
or I can't. It's not soulsmith. It's nothing like that. But basically, the words of it is he brings things together.
Yeah.
So it's sort of revealed that he can bring stuff together.
Yeah, and I sort of see how it works. And I think I see how Brandon Sanderson's magic. I think actually that's the Way of Kings series actually has Brandon Sanderson's best attempt at getting magic, because what he's done is he has consciousness, spirit, and physical, which means that's open to metaphorical interpretation.
Yeah.
So I think basically what I'm saying, I think magic has to be metaphorical, otherwise it's physics. Because like Rhythmatist is just a video game.
Yeah.
Like, it's like so defined. Although the one thing about it that isn't is the better looking your drawing is, the more powerful it is.
Yeah.
So that is the slight bit of magic in that. Because magic doesn't need rules, or it needs rules that are simple to a person. Like, you know, people say like, suppose you were a wizard and you like could do anything, what would you do? And be like, I'd make it so that there was no salt water, thereby people could drink whatever. And they'd be like, well, but then fish would die because they need salt, and you would cause an imbalance in the temperature, and you'd be like, no, it's magic, so it's fine. See, that's magic. Magic is the common sense first reaction. You don't think about the consequences.
Yeah. And then the consequences sneak up and kick you in the groin.
No, it never happens because it's magic. It works.
I'm talking about there's this different book series.
Or like teleportation. You'd catch fire if you teleported because you would like intersect with all the air that you ended up in.
No,
and
you move it out of the way and stuff. It's magic.
But if you move out of the way, then where's it going? Like it'd be like you'd cause like wind when
it go into the space where you just were.
Yeah, and then you could like transport diseases across the world, or like mess with the climate if too many people are teleporting.
Well,
but it's magic, so it just works.
Yeah, well, that's very interesting about what's her name? The Harry Potter magic.
Yeah, it just works.
Yeah, but like you can suspect magic can do anything. However, she has a few rules of what it can't do.
Yeah, it can.
And then she flings in a few spells that you know about, and like these are these spells. These are the rules. Like I've heard a lot of people actually say abracadabra is a really dumb spell.
Advada-cadabra?
Yeah, to add to the book series.
Yeah.
Like, they think it's a really bad idea.
Yeah, because it becomes the best spell by default.
Yeah.
Because it's unblockable and it's a one-hit kill.
Yeah.
Which is a big problem.
Yeah, but then like people can't really cast
the
it.
only
though.
saving grace is it's very hard to cast.
Yeah. But like that's sort of a rule. Or like we know Alhamar opens locks.
Yeah.
But people can cast spells to stop it from opening locks.
Yeah.
And we know like Lumos causes light. So like we have these. This does this. However, we have a huge amount of space open for more stuff to happen in.
Yeah. And
then being in a school setting, instead of them like just pulling it out of nowhere, they learn it and then they can use it.
Yeah, so you know if they have the spell or not.
Yeah.
But that's actually a really good point. That's the thing about Harry Potter is it's so well written.
Yeah, well, like they learn it in school.
That's why
and
it's so
then
popular.
They learn it in school, or they learn it in conditions where it's fine and sort of fun for them to learn it.
Yeah.
And
then they use it. So it means that you have Brandon Sanderson's laws where they're not going to suddenly do something that's impossible.
Like Hermione's not going to go, actually, I invented the spell that can block a Avada-Kedavra. I just used it to block a Avada-Kedavra.
It's like,
haha.
Oh no, a basilisk. Well, good thing I know the basilisk disintegration spell that I just made up.
Yeah.
Bam. Or it's like, we learned this in school. It's like, you see them learn every spell.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still clever, but magic has infinite possibilities still.
Yeah.
So that's actually amazing. That's a good point that you're talking about.
And then with the battle in the book, which I think is one of the best written battles I think I've ever read, which he did a very good job of Dumbledore versus Voldemort.
Yeah.
Is
I love that battle.
Dumbledore is doing things that everyone has, like you've seen in the magic world, like statues coming to life and like teleporting around and stuff. Like this is all stuff you've seen.
A phoenix.
Yeah. However, how he's applying it is
Yeah.
just
like he's
beyond, like he can apply everything you've learned about perfectly and do it really cleverly.
And he actually comes up with a way to block Avada-Kedavra as well.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of times. Like he can teleport to avoid it. He can move a statue in the way. His phoenix can eat the bolt.
Yeah, because phoenixes come back to life.
Yeah. It's got like all sorts of cool ways to avoid it.
Yeah, and that's another thing about he's sort of like Batman in the sense he doesn't use Avada-Kedavra partly because it's illegal, but also in a way it's really easy, and Dumbledore doesn't do us easy.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it is easy. I think you have to really believe in it, is the idea. Like, you have to really want their death, and I don't think Dumbledore wants anyone's death but Harry's.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah, like, that's the whole point of...
Wait, is that why Dumbledore kept flinging Harry into situations that would, like, probably get him killed?
Yeah, because no, not because it would get him killed, but because he was expendable. So he wanted a skilled wizard who was expendable to do the dangerous tasks.
That puts Dumbledore into a bit of a different light.
No, that's why Harry was so furious for book 7. Because he realized Dumbledore had been raising him like a pig to slaughter.
Yeah.
Like, that's the whole... That's why Harry was so upset.
And then Harry... Is it spoilers?
I don't know.
Well, he
Snape kills Dumbledore with Rosebud.
Isn't that the thing that the person said?
In Citizen Kane?
Was it? No, it's like in real life, like someone died and the last words they said was Rosebud.
I don't know.
And people like have spent a long time analyzing, like, what does Texas mean? It must have been his mistress or something, or maybe his sister that no one found.
That's Citizen Kane, like, that's the last thing he says, and then they try to figure it out.
Okay.
And it's his sled.
Oh.
He just named his sled Rosebud. But they thought, like, is that a dog? Is that his sister? Is that... But it turned out to just be his sled.
Okay. I thought that might be based off a real world thing, or someone said that.
No, I think it's from the movie. Because it's it's considered, like, the greatest movie. Or, well, I mean, if you look at IMDb, then The Godfather is or something.
And if you look at most grossing, it's Gone with the Wind.
Is it?
Yep, with counting inflation, that is the best movie ever.
It's the best movie ever. I don't care.
What? Oh, frankly, you don't give a damn?
No, I don't care.
Okay. Yeah, but in Harry Potter...
I don't give a damn!
Do you think Dumbledore knew that Harry would be able to come back? Like, he's staying there, it's like, you can choose to get on the train, or you can go back. No, I'm going to sit here and eat my jelly beans.
Like, do you think Dumbledore knew what, sorry?
Harry actually couldn't die if he got killed by Voldemort. Because, like, he's in the train station, and Dumbledore's sitting there.
I don't think Dumbledore knew, no.
No.
I think he might have had suspicions or something, but Horcruxes are such rare magic. Like,
they're such rare magic, and one guy makes 7 of them.
Like, the only real expert on them was, what, Slughorn or something?
And Voldemort.
And neither of them knew much. So
Slughorn made 3?
Slughorn didn't make any.
Oh. How do you know about them?
Because he's a teacher. I don't remember, like, he was the one Voldemort asked about the Horcruxes. He was like, Professor, tell me about Horcruxes. And he's like, no! And then...
You involves putting your soul...
But then he's like, oh, I just wanted to know. And he's like, oh, if you're curious, then... Yeah.
You put your soul into objects, such as a herring sandwich.
Could you do more than one? He's like, don't talk to me of that boy. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think possibly the best... So Harry Potter, yeah, I didn't think it really good, except for Avada Kedavra.
Yeah.
But even then... it's sort of like in the Dresden Files, actually, how doing dark magic is impossible because magic's only something you believe in.
Yeah,
so you have to believe it's right.
Even, like, Bellatrix, like, super evil witch.
Yeah.
Really horrible. And when she's fighting Sirius Black, and she's having a huge amount of difficulty fighting him, she doesn't use Avada Kedavra.
Yeah.
Because she can't.
Or she can't use it fast enough for a duel.
Yeah.
Because I think it might be that it's like a spell you have to, like, whew, here we go, Avada Kedavra. Whereas Voldemort is just so insane. He's so insanely evil and powerful that, but he can't even do it silently. Like most spells, wizards can do silently.
Oh,
like,
really? Right.
Like the skilled wizards can do most spells silently.
Yeah.
But Voldemort always says Avada Kedavra out loud, so it's probably really hard to cast.
Yeah.
So it might not even be the worst thing still. Because like during all the duels, you have like both sides not using it.
Yeah.
And so there's that.
Well, maybe it's like well, exactly. It's like Avada Kedavra, like that amount of syllables, right?
Yeah.
And as you're saying that, someone yells, Expelliarmus! And your wand goes boo, 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 up your hand. And you can't, like, cast a counter spell or anything in that time.
Protego!
What's
the shield spell?
Protego.
Protego, yeah, that's right.
Protego. Oh, that Harry Potter game was great.
You didn't use Protego in that one, though. You used some weird thing, didn't you?
Yeah.
Rictum Sempra. No, not that one.
Rictum Sempra. Isn't that the spell that you use to kill monsters? Like every single monster in that video game gets beaten by Rictum Sempra.
That's like those Harry Potter games are great.
Well, actually, so is an interesting thing is some friends and I were looking at it, and I think you said this as well, but like the second game has the best graphics.
Yeah.
The third
Yeah.
game, they get worse and worse.
Yeah, because they give up on cartoony and they don't do well on the realism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You're listening to The Fool and the Philosopher. You're also listening right now to Vindsvept and his song Through the Woods We Ran. Most of our music is by Vindsvept, however our opening is by Adrian-von Ziegler. Check those guys out, they're pretty cool.
But I think like Lord of the Rings does magic really well. It's you don't know what its limits are, and it's very. I think what you can also do, which Brandon Sanderson sort of does, but he can't help himself, and he tells everyone about his magic, is you have a system, but you don't tell anyone about it. But I think even then, that's not good enough.
yeah.
Because it's basically just physics,
Yeah, well, Tolkien had one rule for magic.
which you can't cast the same spell twice.
Yeah. Because the universe can only be bent once.
Which I think is decent, or it's like an atom, right? Like if you look at the atom, its wavelength collapses, and you know where it is. And but before then, it could have been anywhere.
Yeah.
Or an electron, sorry, kind
Yeah.
of thing. So, which is sort of the morality line in a way. Like it's this hazy fuzz, and you can collapse the wave point if you look at it, maybe, but you shouldn't, or I don't know.
You should, because it'll create a black hole.
or you can't collapse it. So I think like reality itself is very fuzzy because electrons can be anywhere,
Yeah.
and everything's just an average.
Oh, actually, fuzzy is a very appropriate word.
Yeah, it's all fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
And reality is very fuzzy. So I think morals could be fuzzy as well.
Okay.
But and like what were we talking about? Magic from what spells? Yes, because the universe is a song, right?
Yeah.
But once you cast a spell, you define one of the notes.
Yeah.
It could have been, and it's the same notes in a chord, so it's a C. It's a C. But when you cast a spell, you determine if it's C like 1 or C7.
Yeah.
And
How hard it was hit, how softly it was hit.
and once that's defined, then you can't hit that note again because you've
Yeah.
already shown it, and which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, you need so. My Golems book that I was talking about last time, I would say doesn't actually have magic in it.
Yeah.
Because it's... And I think that's on purpose because I imagine the Kineser is more like engineers. Oh, I could have called them engineers. I guess I still can. It didn't get published yet. I kind of like Kineser, though.
Yeah.
I
Mover.
I want to popularize it. Yeah. Yeah.
So why you can have, like, instead of necromancers, you have necrokinesers and tarokinesers instead of,
Tarot Kinesers.
sorry.
Tarot cards? Or...
No, what was it? Like Earth Mover.
Oh, like Terra?
Yeah,
Wait,
instead
no.
of Taroman, instead of like an Earth Mage, like an Earthmancer or whatever, you have an Earth Kineser.
Pyrokinesics.
Yeah.
Pyrokinesics. Pyrokinetics is becoming more popular than
Yeah.
pyromancy.
Yeah.
But I
Well,
think...
that's because Pyromancy is looking to fire and see in the future.
But so is necromancy. He's talking to the dead and seeing the
Yeah.
future. So I think that,
Oh.
like, necrokinetics, that sounds kind of fun.
You remind me, Professor Hicks from the Terry Pratchett's books. Speaking of the 41 boat.
Oh, the necromancer?
No, he's not a necromancer. He's the lecturer in post-mortem communications.
Yeah, the necromancer.
No, he's not a necromancer.
Yeah, that's
necromancy is illegal.
No, but talking to the dead is necromancy.
Yeah, but necromancy is illegal in Lake Morpork, so he's the professor of post-mortem communication.
But that's what necromancy is.
I know.
Yeah. He
but
definitely knows the meaning of the word.
Yeah, that's his funny
Yeah.
name. Talking about that last night.
But yeah, so I think Brandon Sanderson's magic doesn't have soul to it. It's physics. Like
It's
physics.
cold. It's soulless.
Like physics is really cool,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like black holes are amazing and terrifying and beautiful and all that sort of fun stuff. But like alchemy, man, those were the days. I could be an alchemist. Like you combine like
Ethers with
regal
ornery-
water and like you have like your imagery is like put the sun into the snake which eats its own tail tail. Like, they are metaphors. That's why alchemy is cooler than physics, chemistry. It's the same thing, but they use metaphors.
Yeah.
Because the recipes were right, the alchemists were wrong. So if you say how you create the potion of eternal life is you mix the dragon eating its own table with the sun, and the cock has to be crowing, and the tree of the golden apple must be bent over it. You're like, okay, well, the snake eating its own tail is royal water, which is sulfuric acid. So so I need sulfuric acid. I need the cock crowing, which is like nitrogen or something, and the sun is in there, which is gold. So you need gold to contain this, and you need the golden apple, which is probably like sulfur or something. I don't know, because it would be like golden, so it could be fire, which would be like heat, which could be sulfur, or maybe it'd be like, or it could be the other kind of water, strong water. So it could be because like it's a strong tree, maybe. So you mix those together and drink your potion and you die.
Yeah, and so you mix your potion. It's like, you're for the potion to eternal life. And you drink sulfuric acid.
Yeah. So you're like, okay, that wasn't quite the right recipe. But the thing is, if you found this ancient scroll and like you heard like a rumor, like this scroll with this picture, because they didn't have recipes, they had pictures, right? They're like, this picture is how you make it. And so you're like,
it was written by, what's his name, the Immortal.
It was written by Nicholas Flamel himself or something.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, this has got to be right. And so, or someone you trust even more than Nicholas Flamel.
John Dee.
Well, those guys are actually both quite modern. So you'd want some like
Solomon.
Yeah, this is a scroll written by Solomon, right?
Yeah.
So you're like, and so it might not be, like the recipe might be wrong, but you're like, this was written by Solomon, so it's got to be right. So then you're like, I did it wrong. So maybe the dragon eating its tail actually represents infinity, which means I need the infinite element, which is like
Mercury.
Gold, because you can never get rid of gold. So instead of it being royal water, it was gold. But then if it's gold, then what does the sun mean? Well, the sun is hot, so maybe it actually meant sulfur. But then the golden apple instead could be like just a strong thing, so it could be like steel. And so alchemy was all metaphors and like trying to figure out the recipes.
So the alchemists were always wrong.
Like, how cool is that? Like, a pitcher is a recipe, and you could like look, this is like a video game, right? Where you go, like, there's like this adventurer comes and he says, I went to this abandoned tower in the middle of a desert, because he was in a tower in China somewhere, right? I found this ancient box. I broke it open and there was traps, because the Chinese emperors had their traps and whatnot. So or just like maybe a tradesman. It's like these needles sunken in wax, so that when I turned the key, the needles would pop out of the wax and stab me, because it was hidden with the wax, and the wax was poisonous, so it would coat the needles as they came through. But I carefully disarmed the trap and opened the box, and inside I found these scrolls that crumbled to dust in my hand. And so the next one I was careful, and the corner came away, and I copied it painstakingly onto this piece of paper, and this is a recipe for Solomon himself. Can you, wise alchemist, figure it out? And so the alchemist and his apprentice pore over it for years to try to come up with a recipe, and they discover it's a real recipe on how to make like
gunpowder,
or like fertilizer, or like tin, or I mean bronze, not tin, or like aluminum or something, like
how to make steel.
Yeah, and they just have to like study this picture. Like, that was the world. How cool is that? I mean, it probably wasn't quite like that, but that could work. That's real, and that's metaphor, and that is magic. Even though that was physics, that's magic because it's metaphor. So I guess you can actually have a very strict law thing as long as it works in metaphors somehow. I don't know. I miss those days.
I miss the good old days. Mercury poisoning.
Like, can you imagine? It'd be best. I mean, it would be horrible.
Well, that's why you want the power to teleport toilets to you.
The pest sucks. No, I wouldn't care about that. It would be like the rampant disease.
Unless you could teleport a whole bathroom to you.
And like, it'd be like the rampant disease
with a
horrible, like,
well, it's actually interesting.
Morals, constant war, dangerous animals, bandits, like petty political maneuverings, getting stabbed in the back.
This is interesting, Cameron. If you travel back in time, right?
Yeah.
You would probably be immune to most diseases. However, you would be a
living God.
No, you would be a destructive force, because the diseases you have are way more evolved and nasty than the diseases people have in the past. So you would be this walking plague machine, immune to all other disease, killing everyone you came into contact with.
Imagine the power.
Like time traveling into past danger. Actually,
XKCD had a comic where it said, the past is a different country. And then the other guy said, with weaker military and larger oil reserves.
but you used up the oil then, and you don't have it now. I like just
Going back in time, man. What?
Why do we have time machines?
No, I don't know. Time machines. You a fan of time travel?
I don't want to do it. I think it's too messy.
I don't think it has to be.
I don't. Right. Once. If time travel happens.
Yeah.
And we can notice it.
Like, this is the biggest misassumption people make about time travel, right? Is the idea that you can go back. Like, how on earth would you be able to go back? Because you're already there.
Yeah.
There's always going to be two of you.
Yes.
Like, the moment you time travel, you've duplicated yourself.
Yeah, until you unduplicate yourself.
No, you can't, though. Unless you kill yourself. Because, like, you existed in every period in time. Like, all of them. Like, when do you come back when you're not there?
Well, so you travel back in time.
Yeah.
And so, like, the time's going along, right?
Yeah.
So you travel back in time. So then you travel back to the future, like, a week after you left.
Yeah. And
so the week in between, you didn't exist there.
Right.
And so then there's just one of you. So
I guess.
you're sort of like jumping about. Like, you're like, if you like draw a line.
No, I see what you're getting at. Yeah.
And then you go, whoop. And then you go back. Then you go, whoop. And you keep going.
Except it's more like, well, we can't show this.
Yeah.
But the problem is that
That's why I said you're drawing a line. You're jumping.
The you that was young also goes to here and then comes back. So you have an infinite loop here with a line coming out of it.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, that's fine.
Which means that, but that means that you keep teleporting to this point in the future.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think. Well, I guess that kind of works though.
Yeah.
But if you came back like earlier, you would also age weirdly. Like you'd die really young if you were a time traveler.
Maybe.
Because like you'd be born and then like 10 years later you'd die because you'd kept time traveling and having adventures and aging off elsewhere.
Yeah, well, that's why Doctor Who reincarnates.
I think he's immortal though.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that's
Something, eh?
I don't think time travel, but that's not messy. That's fairly clean actually.
Yeah.
Right there. I think time travel could be fine.
Yeah.
But well, I guess my thought is, you can't go back to here because you've changed the future. So you never went back in time.
It was always changed. It's always been like that.
Why can't? But you can change. There's no reason why you can't change the future.
No, it's always been like
But
that.
remember, life is a slice of bread, right? And so if the raisin goes back in the bread and like pushes some raisins around, the bread has actually moved, but it doesn't break anything. That's my raisin bread theory of the universe. Where
Right.
You just move sideways in the bread.
I think here's a good spot to stop.
You gotta climb the infinite stair, man. You gotta get the raisin bread. There's raisin bread. The
thank you
people are
for
fighting us from the raisin bread.
listening.
They're coming for me. They're
And
taking me away.
bye.
Bye.